Hello dear students, good morning. In the previous video I told you the outline of this chapter Birth by A.J. Cronin, and now let's begin the detailed explanation. In this excerpt means a small part of something long. From the Citadel, Andrew mentioned, newly out of medical school, has just begun his medical practice as an assistant to Dr. Edward Page in the small Welsh mining town of Blenley. So this is all about Dr. Andrew Mention, who has just started his practice as a doctor. As he is returning from a disappointing evening with Christine, the girl he loves, he is met by Joe Morgan. Joe and his wife, who have been married nearly 20 years, are expecting their first child. So the day is very critical for Dr. Andrew because it was a disappointing day for him. But on the other day, it was a very important day for a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Morgan, who were expecting their first child after 20 years. Though it was nearly midnight when Andrew reached Ringover, he found Joe Morgan waiting for him, walking up and down with short steps between the closed surgery and the entrance to the house. So there was his surgery clinic and his house. So Joe Morgan was waiting and he was walking with short steps. At the sight of him, the burly, heavy driller in the mining town, you can see these people who work as drillers. Burly driller's face expressed relief. He was eagerly waiting for doctor because his wife needed him, and looking at Dr. Andrew, he was relieved. Hey doctor, I'm glad to see you. I've been back and forward here this last hour. He was waiting for 1 hour for him. The missus means his wife wants you before time too. Means my wife needs a doctor now, and that also before time. So the delivery was going to be before time, so it could be a critical one as well. Andrew abruptly, suddenly recalled from the contemplation the thoughts coming in his mind of his own affairs, told Morgan to wait. Joe Morgan, who was very happy looking at Andrew, and Andrew, who was, you can say, involved in his own thoughts that he had met his girlfriend now, and there was a disappointing meeting, and there was some kind of breakup, you can say, and he was so much in tension. So he just recalled, and he now ignored all the thoughts and wanted to listen to Joe Morgan. He said Morgan to wait. He went into the house for his bag. Then together they set out for number 12 Blania Terrace. It is the address of Mr. Morgan. The night air was cool and deep with quiet mystery. Complete mystery. There was cool and depth in the night. Usually so perceptive, Andrew now felt dull and listless. Usually he was very perceptive, he was very thoughtful, but now he was dull and listless. He was not having any kind of senses of the things nearby. He had no premonition that this night call would prove unusual. He had no idea in advance that this night call that he was when called by Joe Morgan could change his life forever. Still less that it would influence his whole future in Blenley. He also didn't know that his treatment of that lady would change his future. The two men walked in silence until they reached the door of number 12. Then Joe drew up short. Joe paused. He didn't go inside. I'll not come in, he said, and his voice showed signs of strain. He was so stressed that he did not have that courage to go inside and see his wife. But man, I know you'll do well for us. Joe Morgan said that I'll be waiting out of the house because I believe that you will be doing good for us. So he didn't enter. Joe Morgan didn't enter, and now the Dr. Andrew is going to Mrs. Joe Morgan. Inside, a narrow stair led up to a small bedroom, clean but poorly furnished. So they were not so much well off, and lit only by an oil lamp. Here, Mrs. Morgan's mother, a tall, grey haired woman of nearly 70, and the stout, healthy, elderly midwife waited beside the patient. So, already there were two ladies. One was Mrs. Morgan's mother, and the second was nurse, you can say, watching Andrew's expression as he moved about the room. They were waiting to see the expressions of doctor. When does it happen? If the patient is being checked by the doctor, the family members see at the doctor because they just wanted to guess, is there something critical or not? They wanted to guess it from doctor's expression. Let me make you a cup of tea, Dr. Batch, said the former quickly. Former means we have been told about two ladies. One is Mrs. Morgan's mother and second is midwife. So former means the person who is talked about in at the first place. So here they are talking about Mrs. Morgan's mother. So Mrs. Morgan's mother offered tea to the doctor. Andrew smiled faintly because he was not happy from inside. He saw that the old woman, wise in experience, realized there must be a period of waiting, that she was afraid he would leave the case, saying he would return later. So Mrs. Morgan's mother was experienced. She knew that there could be some time for delivery. And if the doctor observes that there is some time, maybe the doctor goes away and saying that I'll come later. And she didn't want the doctor to go. So she offered tea because while taking tea, he'll be spending some time and then maybe there is some time for delivery. Don't fret, mother. Don't worry, mother. I'll not run away, doctor said. Down in the kitchen, he drank the tea which she gave him. Overwrought, overworried as he was, he knew he could not snatch even an hour's sleep if he went home. Dr. Andrew knew that the delivery was somewhere close, so he could not have just 1 hour sleep if he goes home. So he didn't want to go home. He knew too that the case here would demand all his attention because it is before time. A queer, strange lethargy, laziness of spirit came upon him. He decided to remain until everything was over. He just wanted to be here at Mr. Morgan's house until everything was fine and over. An hour later, he went upstairs again to check the patient, to check Mrs. Morgan, noted the progress made, came down once more, sat by the kitchen fire. It was still, the fire was still, except for the rustle of a cinder in the grate and the slow tick-tock of the wall clock. Only this much was the sound. No, there was another sound, the beat of Morgan's footsteps as he walked in the street outside. There was a third sound as well, because Mr. Morgan was walking in tension, thinking about his wife and child. The old woman opposite him, old woman is Mrs. Morgan's mother, opposite him sat in her black dress, quite motionless, her eyes strangely alive and wise, probing, searching on doctor's face. She just wanted to know the reaction or the thinking in doctor's mind, because she wanted to know the condition of her daughter. So she was looking or gazing at doctor for the expressions, never leaving his face. She was never leaving doctor's face. His thoughts, Dr. Andrew's thoughts, were heavy, muddled, confused. The episode he had witnessed at Cardiff station still obsessed him morbidly, badly. The episode, the argument he had with his girlfriend was there in his mind, obsessed him. He thought of Bramwell, foolishly devoted to a woman who deceived him sordidly. Sordidly means you can say intentionally. Of Edward Page, bound the shrewish shrewish cunning of Denny, living unhappily apart from his wife. So here he has started thinking about those people who were cheated by either their wives or girlfriends. His reason told him that all these marriages were dismal failures, which do not match. It was a conclusion which in his present state made him wince relaxed, because he thought that marriages are just dismal failures, marriages are not successful. So he's feeling happy inside, because he also wanted to marry his girlfriend and now this was all ended up. So he felt somewhere happy that no, I'm happy that I have not got married. Then he wished to consider marriage as an idyllic state, stupid state. Yes, He could not otherwise consider it with the image of Christine before him. Because he could see Christine before him, his thoughts were full of Christine. So he thought that if he had married Christine, then also the condition could have been so much, you can say, disappointing. So he thought it better that he had not got married. He wanted to feel comfortable whatever situation he was. It was the conflict between his level, doubting mind and his overflowing heart which left him resentful and confused. So his mind and his heart were in a conflict. Mentally he was thinking it is good that it has happened, but by his heart he was missing Christine and he was very hurt and disappointed and broken. So that was the reason he was resentful. He was not at all comfortable. He was uncomfortable and confused. He let his chin sink upon his chest, stretched out his legs, stared broodingly means with full concentration, into the fire. He remained like this so long. He was just in his own thoughts. And his thoughts were so filled with Christine that he startled when the old woman opposite suddenly addressed him. When the old woman wanted to ask something to doctor, and doctor was so involved in his own thoughts that he got startled, shocked. Her meditation had pursued a different course. Her meditation refers to the meditation or concentration of the lady. She was praying and now she has come to a different question. So earlier she was meditating for her for her daughter, but now she wanted to say something to doctor. She said, Suzanne is the name of Mrs. Morgan. Suzanne said not to give her the chloroform if it would harm the baby. So Mrs. Morgan said that if chloroform may be harmful for the baby, do not give it to her. Chloroform is given like an anesthesia to the patient so that they do not feel that pain. So Suzanne Morgan was so particular for her child that she was ready to bear the pain, but if the chloroform is harmful for the baby, she did not want to have it. She's awful set upon this child. Set upon means focused on this child, Dr. Bach. Sir, Bach is just a respectful word. Her old eyes warmed at a sudden thought. She added in a low tone, we all are, I fancy. I think that we all are very much concerned about this child because they are getting their first child after 20 years. He collected himself with an effort. Dr. Andrew, who was just fallen apart and he was all thinking of Christine, he just came into reality. Okay, he collected himself, he came to the reality, and with an effort, it won't do any harm, the anesthetic, he said kindly, they'll be all right. So doctors replied that no, chloroform is not going to harm anyone. Here the nurse's voice was heard calling from the top landing, and at this point the nurse called from the landing. Andrew glanced at the clock, which now showed 3:30. He rose and went up to the bedroom. He perceived that he might now begin his work. So now he checked and came to know that now the delivery can be started. An hour passed. It was a long, harsh struggle. Then, as the first streaks of dawn means early morning, strayed past the broken edges of the blind curtain, the child was born lifeless. So, at almost dawn time, maybe 4:30 to 5, the child was born, but the child was lifeless. So the child who was there, given or received by a couple after 20 years of their marriage, was lifeless. So we'll see in the next video what happened with the child and the parents. And now some slides for your spoken English. Some sentences which need some correction. That is, some students wrongly speak like, I promise not to tell to anyone. I want to tell to you. He is telling to me. These kind of words you use means you use to plus tell, but it is wrong. I promise not to tell anyone. Okay, there is no requirement of to after tell. Next is, my sister doesn't listen to me, it's correct. and my sister doesn't listen me, it's wrong. Whenever you're using listen, you'll have to use to as well with the object, before object. My sister doesn't listen to me. Listen to me, or listen me. So listen me is wrong and listen to me is correct. She is married to a doctor. This is already discussed. Married to a doctor is to preposition is right if we are talking about the female. She is married with a doctor is wrong. Okay, if the girl is married to a boy. Boy is married with a girl, but girl is married to a boy. Next, I wish I won't have to work tomorrow. Right is, I wish I didn't have to work tomorrow. See, tomorrow but didn't. Rare combination. Be focused about this. Whenever you use I wish, then you'll use I didn't. What's time in your watch is wrong. What's time by your watch. Next is, I'm cutting my hair. No, you're not cutting your hair yourself. So you should say, I'm having my hair cut. If you are doing it yourself, then also you are to use this, I'm having my hair cut. Next is, don't say she's very jealous from her friend. This preposition is wrong. You should say she's very jealous of her friend. Everybody have problems. We know that by using everybody we are talking about every person, but still it is a singular determiner, so everybody has problems. Next, it is very important you write in formal letters. I in informal as well. I look forward to meet you. I look forward to meeting you. Meeting you is correct. Next, you can sit my next seat. It's wrong. You should say, you can sit next seat to me. Okay. Next is, my office is in the first floor. No, my office is on the first floor. So this is it for the day. Write down all these correct sentences in your notebook and have a good day.